Senator Hirono, you're up next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I get to my questions, I just want to note that we did not receive information relating to this nominee until really late yesterday, and it would have been good if we could have followed the process. That would have given us more time, which meant that this hearing would not be happening today. So for the nominee, as part of my responsibilities as a member of this, as well as all my other committees, I asked the following two initial questions to ascertain the fitness of the nominee for the job. So I ask you, since you became a legal adult, have you ever made unwanted requests for sexual favors or committed any verbal or physical harassment or assault of a sexual nature?
I have not.
Have you ever faced discipline or entered into a settlement relating to this kind of conduct?
I have not.
It is shocking to see the devastation that is caused by the wildfires in Los Angeles, and of course, we're seeing that, it's shocking. In 2023, a wildfire killed 102 people and destroyed the town of Lahaina on Maui. And Hawaiian Electric, which is our major utility company, received a $95 million award from the DOE to help in rebuilding Maui's electric grid and reduce the risk of future wildfires. The state of Hawaii has also received other support and funding from the DOE to proceed with this kind of modernization. Do you acknowledge the need for improvements to our electric grids that will reduce the risk of wildfires and ensure reliable access to power?
Senator, thank you for your question. And boy, I remember watching with horror the fires on Lahaina and the fires today in LA. It is absolute human tragedy. It is devastating. But to answer your question, absolutely, yes. We need to improve our electric grid, both for increased supply, for increased resilience to natural disasters and events.
As we see these kinds of natural disasters, I think municipalities will need help from the DOE. So will you continue allocating funding for grid improvements as authorized by Congress? Yes or no?
Well, I'm not sure it's quite as simple as that, but I think that my short answer would be yes. Of course, I want to work with you and other states to increase grid resilience.
Appreciate that. The DOE is required to ensure that all construction and repair projects funded by the DOE under the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act pay prevailing wages. Will you pay prevailing wages as required under the infrastructure law that I just mentioned?
Senator, if I have the privilege to be confirmed, I will follow the laws and statutes of the United States.
And that would mean paying prevailing wages on these kinds of projects. The Washington Post reported that in April 2024, Donald Trump told a group of about 24 oil executives at Mar-a-Lago that they should raise $1 billion for his campaign, which would be a deal given his commitment to reversing environmental regulations, expanding oil and gas leasing on federal land, and approval of natural gas exports. Did you attend that meeting at Mar-a-Lago?
I was at a dinner with President Trump in Mar-a-Lago in April. Quite a bit different than what you just described, but yes, I was at a dinner.
Well, it was reported that he talked about a $1 billion. So do you think that it was appropriate for the president to even put forth the possibility of such a deal?
I was at the dinner, and the president put forward no such deal.
That's not what was reported. As Secretary of Energy, you will have oversight over a lot of contracts, grants, and loan guarantees. Are you prepared to engage in vigorous oversight of the DOE's funding, even if President Trump pressures you to approve sweetheart deals to one of his favorite businesses? Will you be objective, and should you be confirmed?
I have followed rigorous and ethical business practices my whole life, Senator, and will continue to do exactly that at the Department of Energy if I have the privilege of being confirmed.
I only have a little bit of time, but I do want to get to this. If you are confirmed, your obligation will be to the American people, not to the shareholders or board members for an oil and gas company. Would you allow all exports of natural gas to China and anywhere else around the world, regardless of whether the exports would increase heating and power bills for the American people?
Senator, I'd love to have more time to talk about natural gas exports. The brief history of them is as we've grown our natural gas exports, our price of natural gas has gone down because the industry, natural gas production industry, has
So
benefited
you're telling
from
me
scale.
that you would, I'm asking whether you would take into consideration what the impact for the cost of energy in America would be if you allow export of these oil and gas. So would you would keep that uppermost in mind, right? With what the impact of these kinds of exports would be to the cost of energy to our American people.
Absolutely, Senator. I share
Thank
your
you.
concern there.
Senator Hoeven.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chris,